You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcast on a new EU entry-exit system for border control.
Increased flows of travellers and the threat of terrorism are forcing the EU to modernise its border management systems. After years of discussions, MEPs will vote next week on a new proposal for establishing an entry-exit system to speed up, facilitate and reinforce border check procedures for non-EU nationals travelling to and from the EU. We'll be right with you.
The number of travellers to and from the Schengen area is rising every year, and current passport checks have proved to be outdated in terms of efficiency and security.
Against this background, the Commission came up in April 2016 with a revised proposal to establish an entry-exit system, a database for recording the border crossings of all non-EU nationals.
The initiative builds on the Smart Borders package presented 3 years before, which failed to secure consensus among the co-legislators.
If approved by the Parliament, the new entry-exit system will replace the manual stamping of passports with more automated border control procedures.
The new system will register the name, type of travel document and biometrics, as well as the date and place of entry and exit of non-EU nationals travelling to and from the Schengen area.
The Commission proposed that all the information, including refusals of entry, be stored in a database for a period of 5 years. But after tough negotiations with the Council, the Parliament managed to limit the data retention period to 3 years, extending it to 5 years only in the case of overstays.
National law enforcement authorities and Europol could query the database to identify terrorists, criminals, suspects, as well as victims of serious crimes. To keep the purpose of the database clear, the Parliament pushed not to grant asylum authorities access to the database. On certain conditions, data can, however, be transferred to third countries for law enforcement purposes.
The compromise text is due for a vote at next week's plenary session, but in the light of the recent Court of Justice ruling on the transfer of PNR data between the EU and Canada, finding the right balance between security and respect of fundamental rights may prove a challenging task.
You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.